Hi guys, I'm so excited. I have Lorenzo Antonucci here with me. He's an actor that
Hey,
you can see in Kraken, Millennial Mafia, Paradise City, and a bunch of other things.
yeah,
So I'm very excited. He's going to share a little bit of his journey with us. So
yeah,
Lorenzo, I'm going to start with Millennial Mafia because that's currently something that people can see on Amazon Prime, I believe, on
yeah,
IMDb
yeah,
TV. So you have a small part, but significant. So tell us a little
yeah.
bit about your role.
It's a funny take on like a mob series, and here we go with the beeps. I can't hide them. I just need to shut this thing off. And a funny take on a mob series that it's these kids that are like like they're born into the mob and they don't even know, and they're like these yuppie kids. They're not even like like a mafia looking. There's an Asian guy named Sal, which is awesome. I think that's fucking cool, and like and he's funny, and it's just like a different take. But I play some guy Frankie that's a quirky, not I mean like a tough guy, but a little bit of a dumb tough guy. I guess the typical dumb tough guy bouncer, but henchman with his gun and guarding their warehouses where they do all their dealings, and these kids try to infiltrate it. But yeah, it's a two-part finale. I'm on the episode 5. It's a few scenes that I'm in on that episode. So and it's the last episode, so that's good to have. You know,
Absolutely. And you're also Italian, so that helps, right? In
yeah,
development of the character.
yes. Italian, Puerto Rican, so I definitely have some elements of two different worlds and two different cultures, but very similar at the same time.
Well, that's awesome. And then, it's I touched a little bit on this in Culture Focus magazine, but you're also the lead in Krakow, which is very controversial. But I'll let you talk about it because I'm sure you can explain it much better than I can, since you're the lead. So tell us a little bit about Krakow and your involvement with the series.
Well, Cracker was so my friend Dale, who wrote it and directed it. He's been a friend of mine for 20 something years. He would do all my band videos as far as directing, and I met him on a tour called Tattoo the Earth. With I was guitar teching for a band called Hatebreed, and we was on tour with Slipknot and Sepultura and Slayer and Metallica headline one night in Giant Stadium. So we go back since at least 99 to 2000. And he came to me in 2017 and was asking me, I was fairly newer into the acting game at that time. It was probably a couple of projects under my belt. And he was like, he wrote the script. He was like, I see you as the lead. And, he kept on, I read it. I thought it was genius. And what, as he's considering me for this character, I knew it was going to be a polarizing role, and I wasn't really, I was really wrapping my head around how polarizing it is. But then I knew that, it was breakout roles for Edward. Well, not breakout roles, but some of them were breakout roles. Some of them were elevated from it. But Ryan Gosling played a white supremacist in The Believer. Russell Crowe played a white supremacist, a Nazi in Romper Stomper. Edward Norton in American History X, classic. Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Basterds. He plays, a very polarizing Nazi. Jeremy Renner in what's that? Jeremy Renner movie? I forget. He plays a Nazi. Michael Rappaport. Who else?
A lot of folks,
DiCaprio, like legends.
right?
Legends played a Daniel Craig, in a smaller movie back in the day. But so I was like, me having a different take on it was, well, I'm Puerto Rican Italian, so that's pretty, we come from a different bloodline. I'm not your essential white guy, and I was like, this is a little bit, maybe I'm a little more sensitive to this character than most would be, but most
Right.
other white guys would be. So I was like, it's a challenging role, and I was like, I could really see myself, you know, channeling this evil human. So I jumped on ship, and I was like, I'm in. And then my hustling hat came on, and I helped raise the money, and I brought in some really good partners, and I helped Dale cast some of my friends, James Darnell and Vishnu, and a lot of the key characters that were the slave owners, which were great. I just came in and I started, being a producer on it, and it was, you know, it was awesome because we went in there blind, man. We just had no idea what we were creating. I mean, we knew that it was sensitive, and it was a crazy topic then.
Yeah.
2017, when Dale came up with the idea, was after Charlottesville. So that whole thing that happened there, which was brutal. So I know now, this was like when we were in prep to put out the 30-minute piece that we made, now turning into a series that's kind of crazy, how we went from, let's just put it out because it's the pandemic, everybody's home and they're bored, and, they need stuff to watch. And then boom, like the riots, and then there's these protests, and we're just like, what is happening? And then it just was like,
It seems like the universe had aligned with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything that was happening. So it really was meant to be, to come out at this particular time for everyone to see a different point of view.
Yeah, and flipping the race and flipping the worlds, making the white slaves was a completely, everybody's like, do you, nobody, how can nobody have thought of this? Nobody could have thought. I'm sure millions of people have thought of it, or maybe not. But it's executing it is the
hardest part.
way to look at it. The hard part. Yeah.
So where can people see it now and check it out? Or
It'll come out probably in the beginning of the fall on Amazon Prime, iTunes, Google Play, Crackle. These are the places that our aggregator is saying that that we can, that it'll be able to stream from. But we're also in, negotiations on a lot of things right now, so it could turn into a much bigger scope of a series, into things that we've dreamed of. Now it might just turn into that as well. So we're just, that's kind of like what's happening, behind the scenes right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the entertainment world being on pause and shifting and remolding, from what I hear from fellow actors
Crazy.
and directors, it's really crazy. So how are you holding up during this difficult times with COVID and those protests and riots?
Let me mute this, because it's going to aggravate me, because people just won't start firing off text messages, and they won't shut it up. So I'm going to do not disturb. Okay. Boom. All right. During this time has been very interesting for me, because I've been here for, I've been in the acting game for a good 6 years, really trying to figure it out. I would say 5 years professionally. And, since I became SAG, and I was introduced into this world in 2013, 2014. I had no clue what I was doing. I knew nothing about this business. I was a guitar player in a band, and I was a recording engineer, and that was the scope of my entertainment abilities. But I was always told that I need to be on a show. I was always told that I need to be an actor, etc. So I had no idea. My journey up until this pandemic point has been rough, because it's been, there's been great moments. I went to Belfast and shot Game of Thrones, and I met Aaron Rodgers on set. The creators are really good friends of mine. I was on 2 episodes of Ballers. My brother Rob Weiss put me on that. He pretty much wrote the character, based on me being an Italian, and put all of our friends that we were all Italian Goombas, and just made a fun role with our friends. And he really put me over. And that's the wrestling term, is when you say putting over, like putting that wrestler over, or putting this actor over, giving me a good shot, to be on a network television show. And then I was, before that, I was able to, my friend Casey Moss, who is a star on Days of Our Lives, he got me in the room with the casting director Marnie, and she, I read for her, and she booked me on 4 episodes. So, like I had ups and downs of how hard this business is, and how what what the journey is, and how hard it is to even get a no, how hard it is to get there, to just get a freaking no. It's brutal. So I started at 36 years old, 37, and I was like, am I too old? I was always second guessing myself. Are you kidding me? This is killing me. I'm like, now I'm 40, I'm 41. What's happening? Like, this is brutal. When is it going to happen for me? When I'm 50? Like, how long is it? Because it usually takes 10 years
right.
of the process. Is a good 10 years on any actor, any of them. You look at their credits, 10 years from the day they started.
Minimum,
some are lucky. 9 out of a million are lucky that, 1 out of a million. I mean, really, that just get that they get casted and then they explode on their first thing. It's so unlikely, but it does happen. But the real way is the way that, I mean, my way is really I'm elevating kind of fast as well, because, I've been in it for 5 years, as far as, first movie coming out and then having SAG, and then, a bunch of stuff, to follow through, to getting, to actually becoming, a union working actor. And that's the hardest part. And that's what most people struggle with, because they can't, figure that out. And it's just it's such a hard grind. A hustle to get to those points is the insane part of the journey, and which is what I reflect on and love more now, is the journey that got me to this point. So during the pandemic, my life has become, for as far as entertainment, everything that I've been working on has come into fruition. Whether it's projects that we were working on, whether it's Kraken, Paradise City, whether it's things that I've been working on for years and things that I'm writing. Now I'm getting straight offers. I'm booked 4 movies and a pilot during the pandemic.
That's amazing.
I mean, like,
that's absolutely amazing, because knowing how the industry is and how hard it is for some actors to get gigs and jobs, you're definitely blessed with what's happening.
It's brutality.
And it is a brutal, very tough world. For those that don't know, the entertainment world is not always as easy and breezy and glamorous as it seems on the outside. It's a lot of
brutality. It's fucking brutality. Am I allowed to curse? Or are you going to beep it out? It's fucking brutal. Anybody that wants to do it, just put your work boots on, because you got to go to fuck to work. That's all I can say. Get your work boots on and fucking get up and just prepare to get punched in the face every 2 seconds, because that's how you survive in this business, is knowing how brutal it is, times it by 10, and you'll be okay.
You got to really love the business to really make it and withstand the storm. So you must really love it, because, from a singer, you went straight to an actor, and for 5 years you were able to achieve what others achieve in 10, 15 years. So
yeah, I agree. But it was also the skill sets that I've learned is, sobriety, number one. I've been sober 7 years. 6.5 years. So if I wasn't sober, I would have been still at least a year or 2 behind of what I'm doing right now, because, I could have been hyper focused on stuff, but you got to count hangovers, the days you're out drinking, and the days you're partying, the days you're recovering. Those, if they eat up 2 days of your week because you can't hustle hard enough, then you compound that out after the years. You lose a year or 2 of your life. Absolutely. Just trying to figure out and feel good. I feel like shit. I don't want to do nothing. That's how I look at everything in life when it comes to, for me. I'm not saying this works for everybody. I'm just saying what works for me.
Well, there's a lot of temptations in that industry, right? When you start from alcohol, drugs, women, men for the women.
Yeah. It's brutal. Yes, the temptation is real, but for me, the temptation is not there anymore. I don't care about alcohol. All my friends that drink, I love them. I look after them. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what it is to be drunk and do stupid shit. So I try to steer my friends in the right direction as best as possible. I'm always trying to be the designated driver, because when I was the drunk, I never wanted to drive, and I always made everybody else drive. Even when I was in a band, I was like, I'm not driving. I'm not driving anywhere.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty much that.
Well, it's incredible you were able to turn your life around and be an example for others in the business and outside of the business who are going down the wrong path. So that it's possible to make it on the other side. And I appreciate you for sharing and being open. And
Yeah.
I know it's very personal. So you mentioned Paradise City. Tell us about Paradise City.
Paradise City is wow. It's another fantastic long journey that. So the creator, his name is Ash Avildsen. He's pretty much spinning it off of his movie American Satan. The band in the show, in the movie, is pretty much on the show. Some of the managers and some of the other characters are carrying over into the TV series. So it's already kind of like a pre-existing IP that Paradise City is based off. It's a rock and roll TV show. Empire, Nashville, Empire, Nashville. Um, Empire, Nashville, Riverdale is kind of like the world, and it's just a modern day rock and roll TV series, starring Bella Thorne, Cameron Boyce, who passed away, the young Disney star,
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
good
He was a
kid.
great guy.
Dre DiMatteo, from Sopranos, she won an Emmy. She was nominated for a Golden Globe. Perry Reeves from Entourage, Ryan Hurst from Walking Dead. Reese, who else?
It's a lot of great
Olivia
names so
Colvia.
far.
Huh?
A lot of great names you mentioned so far.
Yeah, Boo Boo Stewart from, he was a Descendants. Olivia Culpa, she was Miss Universe. Natalie Eva Marie, who's WWE superstar diva. She's doing a lot of movies. Who
It's a
else?
great cast. Great cast.
Yeah. No, the cast
Absolutely.
is great. So I'm an executive producer. I'm a writer on it, and I'm one of the characters from one of the bands and one of the roles called Over It All, and it's based on my band. Pretty much based on a lot of stuff that happened in my life, that world that I'm heavily a writer, a part of, and it's got a lot of elements of Ash's life in there, and it's an interesting way to look at it, because we come from music and we've lived on the road, and and we've been on the executive side, and we've been on the managing side, the agent side, the being in a van, being in a bus, being on a tour, being on a stage. We did it all. So we have at least the proof of right from what is where this helps for all of us. But yeah, Ash created something cool, and we're CAA selling it. We shot the whole series, 8 episodes, independently financed, unprecedented to what most networks or streaming platforms do today. So
everyone check it out.
yeah, you can check out the trailer. It's crushing. It's got like 16 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
The trailer is doing really well. It's got a lot of rock stars in it from the rock world. Andy Black, he's one of the leads. He's in a band called Black Veil Brides. You got you got Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria. You got Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. He plays the singer in my band. We got Javier from Animals as Leaders. We got Hobson, the rapper, who's so we tie in the culture of just like modern day music, entertainment, and actors, and icons and newer actors. Who else we got in there? Sid from Slipknot, my brother right there. I go back with him the same time I met Dale, who did Kraken. I met Sid from Slipknot. He's the DJ. He plays an interesting character called Fritz. And yeah, we got a crazy cast. My friend
Yes,
Gino's in
like
it.
all-star cast and great acting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
everyone should go for it and check
yeah.
it out. And you know, now that you've done singing and acting, and you know, I'm sure you have a lot of dreams and goals
Top
that
player. I'm a top player. Yeah.
that you still haven't achieved. So what's one or two dreams that you can share with us that you really want to you know, achieve in the next hopefully 5-10 years?
Well,
Sooner.
I want to achieve, I want to do whatever I love and amplify it by a million and take everybody that I can with me. You know, like I want to do, you know, obviously acting is the first thing that's going to get me. Acting is the first thing that I love to do and why I do everything as far as hustle to get myself on the screen, carve my way onto that screen, you know, because nobody's giving me the opportunities. I got to make the opportunities. And that's just this business. Nobody gives you anything. You got to work for it. You know, like people that are giving it, you can tell that they were giving it and they don't know how to do anything with it. So I don't mind
Hold on.
working for them. And from anybody that I can help, I will make them work for it because this is how you learn. You know, this is, you know, or you pay your way in. That's the bottom line. And, you know, my dreams, I mean, like my manager and I, you know, I call her my angel because I don't like saying manager because I feel like it's cliche. Oh, my manager, like no, my angel Melissa Prophet. Her and I, we came up with a fun little, what is Lorenzo Antonucci, and it's you know, if Lorenzo, if Sylvester Stallone and The Rock, if it's Lorenzo, it's Sylvester Stallone and The Rock with a sprinkle of Ricky Martin.
That was going to be my next question because you're friends with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, The Rock. I mean, all these
Yeah,
big
I
names.
definitely know those guys. That's for sure. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say that, you know, I don't know them. I mean, these are. I mean, I've been in the presence of Sly, you know, a good amount of times at his house, and yes, I do know him. And same with Jean-Claude Van Damme, 100%. But yeah, I worked with The Rock, and you know, we did an awesome manifestation with Tech Nine and The Rock. You know, it was a bit of a, because The Rock is best is he's one of his favorite rappers is Tech Nine, and we're friends with Tech Nine, and a bunch of us, you know, including Rob Weiss, we all figured out a way to get, Tech Nine and The Rock to meet finally in person because they're both big fans of each other, but they were just never ever able to be in the same room together. So we happened to do that. And, you know, I after doing Ballers the first time, I talked to Dwayne, and he knew my uncle from Puerto Rico, from the wrestling side, Jose Estrada. He knew my family. I trained with some of his family. So we had that connection, and we were just, you know, on that level of just like family and wrestling and just like, you know, getting to know him, Rob introducing us. And that was pretty much the scope of that. And then meeting him again, he was like, oh shit, I remember. Oh, and you did, oh, this is how this all happened. Oh shit, gave me a big hug. So like, you know, and we took pictures. So, you know, Dwayne, I've met him a handful of times, and, you know, obviously I'm a massive fan, and he's definitely, you know, one of my favorites, you know, like he's up there, you know, and he's a sweetheart of a guy, like fantastic man, you know.
Absolutely. And you know what I've noticed, you know, on the other side as a journalist in the entertainment business is that it's you know, you people start to know you eventually, and then you know they start to help you out if you're good, but then if you have to maintain a certain image. So how are you able to maintain good relationships and you know, connections in that industry? Because it's
Um,
easy to go down the wrong slope and just vanish into the abyss.
I I am very very of the you know, the mindset of just be a giver. Do whatever you can to give. Don't expect anything. Always have fun, and, you know, protect your relationships. Don't let people come and destroy them, because there's people that don't care about your relationships. They don't care about you, and they'll do anything to destroy your relationships because they're mad, jealous, and stuff like that. So you have to be very careful of how, you know, like if you have an important relationship that's important to you, and you build the trust with a person, and they love you, and you love them, guard it like it's your kid. Guard it like it's your, you know, guard it with your life, because you are the you know, like put it like this. You are in control of your character. You know, you are. Your reputation is controlled by others. So if you're always the righteous and good person and you give from the heart and you do the right thing, there is no way someone can spin that and into their own context and shit all over you. They could try, but it just never. But if there's particles in you that are shitty, you got shitty particles in you, the roosters are gonna come home to fucking. I mean, not the chickens are gonna come home to wait. What's the fucking analogy? Well, the chickens are gonna come home to roost, and
Yeah.
that's the truth, you know. So that's how I just I'm very 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 you know, like, what would you say? I'm very understanding of how if someone introduces you to someone that's very powerful and very um uh, 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 you know, just so if someone introduces you to the biggest star in the world and you become friends with them, you have to understand what that means to that person that just brought you in and introduced you and put that trust in you.
Yeah.
You have to know that everything you do moving forward applies to him. Anything that you do, if it's all good stuff, he looks good. If you do one shitty thing, he looks bad. That's it. And you have to just know that doing that and that's just like street mentality, you know, like we like good people that come from the street, like, you know, always do good by the people you're around because you don't know where they're going or how they're going to help you down the line in the street or in entertainment or in sports or whatever, you know. You have to just always you know, you got to treat people like you want to be treated. If you're a yeller, you're a screamer, and you're fucking always hyper and mad at the world, then people are gonna just, you know, kind of have this shield up against you, you know, like, and that's just life. Me, I try to be as positive as possible, even when I have the worst days. I try to be positive. I'm like, fuck, you know, like, what am I gonna do? Like, this shit sucks, but I'm gonna try to be positive as much as I can.
And that was going to be my next question to you is like, what advice do you have? Because there's a lot of trolls, they call them trolls, right? With negativity, hatred, jealousy, online cyberbullying. I mean, I've experienced them. Lots of people have. How do you deal with that?
Um, you know, I don't really have any because I don't know how to grow my social media. I don't really try to do that. You know, I let everything be organically. You know, and I'm not like a massive person on social media. Like I really, you know, I don't look at it like that. But I do have people that DM me asking me to do things for them, and I don't know them and I never seen them or they don't even say, hi, Lorenzo, can you, you know, I appreciate your journey. Can you help me walk through this? It's just like, hey, can you walk me through this? You want to do a collaboration? I'm just like, what? Like, you know, like there's ways to open up, you know, open the door. And, you know, with people, you know, being negative and being haters and always jealous. It's the Miloik. It's poison. It's the evil eye. They're giving you the evil eye. And it only comes out in the wash for them because, you know, like if you're a good person, it really can't affect you. You know what I mean? Like it can bother you, but it ain't going to affect you because, you know, they're people that don't want to see you win, so they're gonna do whatever they can to stop you. Even your own friends, it's fucked up. As it sounds, even your own friends, they see you elevate, they get jealous, they don't want to see you do it. And that's just the bottom line, and it sucks because at the end of the day, you know, we could do this all together. There's enough for everybody to eat. But some people have, you know, have been through some shit, and I've learned or seen through my own experiences or through my friends' experiences what they've had by their own friends that try to block them and try to, you know, stop them from achieving their dreams and goals because the other ones are worried about them not getting what they're getting. And you can see it with today. I can imagine how younger kids are because of social media, and, you know, like they're mad someone's got 2 million followers and they only got 3,000 followers. I can imagine how insane and psychotic that is. But that's the new
Exactly.
world.
Hmm.
So I don't know that world well enough. I've been, I've had scenarios of seeing what it does to people and how, I can understand why the jealousy is crazy because, these kids, you know, I mean, Instagram has made everyone think they can be famous. So like with no art and no hard work and just posting pictures and, being on yachts and faking it till you making it, buying followers to make people think, wow, she's got 500,000 or he's got 500,000. Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, wow, what the fuck? Yeah, he's verified. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
such a facade that it's
Mhm.
disgusting, and it is what it is. But the true talented people are, and I got a perfect example. I got my friend Toby Kebbell, who's on the show Servant. He's the star of the show. He's a brilliant actor, 37 and 38 years old. He's got like 6,000 followers. The guy's a star on Apple's one of Apple's biggest shows that just got renewed for a second season. He's the star. So it's, to me, it's like, and he's in massive movies like Planet of the Apes. He's in all kinds of big studio films, and he doesn't have 10 million followers.
I'm really glad
He
you
has
brought this point
6,000.
up. Yeah, because
6,000.
it's insane. There's a lot of famous people, a lot of hardworking actors, producers, music editors that don't have much of a following, and then you see, of course, the newbies that are emerging with a lot of following, and it's shifting the entertainment business, unfortunately. So I'm really glad you brought this point
Oh,
up.
I think it's shifting it, but the the fact that you have these amount of followers doesn't mean that you
Exactly.
convert into sales, because a lot of these people may just like you because you're posting a picture in a bikini, but they don't care that you're going to be in a movie. So
Hmm.
yes, it is an avenue for eyeballs, but what the extent of a fan is, to me, I think like a fan of Post Malone and him having 30 million followers is a true indication of like, yeah, you putting him in a movie and he crushes it. He's a massive star. And then when he posts it on Instagram or whatever, those people are going to be engaged like a motherfucker because he is just awesome as an artist, not because he's tattooed and he smokes a bunch of cigarettes and he's just like, yeah, but he's just got everything that an artist has. He's got it all. So, to my point of like a Toby or a Post or obviously Post converts, in a major way, on a massive level. But these are two different kind of animals I'm comparing to. But at the end of the day, he has his own show. Toby is the lead of his own show, and he has 6,000 or 6,300 followers, and he doesn't care. He's not sitting there worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, he goes to work like every artist. When Sylvester Stallone is still the biggest star in the world, but he was the biggest star in the world 30 years ago, there was no social media. There was
Right.
no social media. The guy still can't go nowhere without fucking people going crazy. So
Very.
it's like, how if Instagram was fucking closed, they shut it down, where the fuck are these girls and guys gonna go that fucking sit there and post their fucking pictures and think that they're fucking stars? I mean, that's just my opinion. Listen, I don't care if I had a million followers, that'd be great. Like, whatever. Then I have a million people that like me. That's cool. I mean, I'm in. I'm not opposed to it, but I just can't see wrapping my head around the art of it, like that's what makes you successful. It's hard work, good work, hard, putting your heart and soul into it, applying everything you have into it daily, hourly, minutes, every
Exactly.
day.
Mhm.
The compound effect of that will get you to wherever you're going to go, no matter what,
I'm so happy you brought this up because this is something that it's not talked as much in the entertainment industry and among professionals. So it's spot on. It's I'm absolutely happy you shared it because it's great to hear it, especially from someone who works hard and is making it. And it's always awesome to hear the other side. And in terms of shifting gears here, but in terms of like on a personal note, what do you like to do? Like you like to share, I mean, if you want to share with the fans, but you like to work out, that I know,
Mhm.
because I see a
Sure.
lot of posts. So you try to stay fit for the roast. What else do you enjoy and you do in your personal time? If there's
Um,
anything you want to share with the fans.
I play video games. Um, I like to play Call of Duty. Um, I'm hoping to be a part of a big video game franchise one day. You know, Gears of War, or you know, Metal Gear, or you know, Mortal Kombat, or Call of Duty. When they make those movies, I would love to be in one of those movies, because that to me is the what I love is playing video games. I love to work out. I love to be around my friends and always spitballing ideas. I love to be around the most powerful people in the world and just hear their journeys of when they come from nothing, and they're the ones that built their empires. I love being around that. I love being around the most successful. Everyone's doing way better than me, and I love it because they love me, and that to me is meaningful, just to be around that. I love going to Erewhon and eating on a bench and just being in LA and just like, you know, eating my cauliflower and my little meals, and, you know, chopping it up with friends there. Or I love going to the gym when the gym's open, and having my friends in the gym. You know, I love going to the movies. One of my favorite things, you know, is going to see, you know, I mean, Movie Pass, when it was out, I abused the shit out of it. I mean, I know it went under fast, but I went to the movies 5 times a week. I was like, I just got to pay for popcorn, and Diet Coke is when I drank Diet Coke at the time. But you know, I do have a lot of outdoor activity that I like. You know, I don't drink. I don't go out to clubs. I don't like to be at parties. I don't like to have parties. I don't have a place to do parties, but I don't like parties. I'm not like a party kind of guy. I did that in my 20s and I did that in my teens, my 20s, and half of my 30s. And I don't, you know, I just, you know, and more importantly, I love going to my first home is New York City, Queens, and uh, and go home and see my father and be around my family that, you know, is all my friends and that are my family, and really get my charge, my batteries, and them noticing the accomplishments and expressing it to me, because I forget how hard it is and what I've come across, and it feels like it's never ending or nothing is ever happening. And it sucks to feel that sometimes when you work so hard and you're just like, when is something going to happen? But they remind you. And, you know, so that's a good thing. And I like to do that.
And what advice do you have for the young actors?
Man, I mean, the is,
The
you know,
naive young actors that want to make it into this crazy Hollywood world.
you know, be prepared for war, you know, meaning like every day is a task. Every day, every minute, every way you go, there's a potential opportunity. Always be ready for it. Always be ready to um, do whatever it is. If you got to go get the coffee, go get the coffee. If you got to pay for the coffee, pay for the coffee. You know, go do whatever it is. Go be a PA. If you're an actor, go be a PA on a show. You know, and don't over express how much of an actor you are. Just be yourself. Be a character. If you're a man or a woman of character, it's going to express on set. People are going to gravitate towards that. If you're kind and you're a PA, and this is not what you want to do, or if you want to be a producer and an actor, start as a PA. If you can get a job as a PA, you know, get in there.
Great advice.
Yeah, get a job as a PA on a fucking short film for, you know, the New York Film Academy or whatever, NYU or UCLA, whatever. Get in the door, even if you got to pay. You know, if you got, it costs me $50 a day to be here. Fuck, I'll figure it out, because experience.
Mm-hmm.
There is no favorites. You cannot buy experience. You have to go in there and live it and understand it. And, you know, if you're taking classes, if you're doing master classes, if you're doing Zoom now, acting classes, whatever you're doing, this is just a part of the practicing the craft. That doesn't mean that by being the best actor in a class or the best actor in a theater that only 16 people see you in is going to do anything for you. You have to hustle. You have to hustle. You have to be your own manager, even when you have a manager. You have to go and conquer every single thing you can possibly do. You have to create your opportunities in a manner of kindness, a manner of, I'm giving you everything I have because I love this. That's it.
That's an
That's how you got to look at this. Don't look at this. I'm giving you everything I got because I love this and I expect a little something from here. No, just give it everything. Give it all, and it eventually comes back from places you don't even know.
The universe pays it off eventually. That's
Cool.
great advice. You know, Lawrence, I really enjoyed this interview because I always like the honest interviews, the ones that, you know, you get to hear it from the heart, and you know, you're very open and you have a great story, and you made it from the ground up, and you're a great inspiration to others and a great role model. And I really want to thank you for opening up and sharing and making a
Absolutely.
difference.
Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait for everyone to see you in all these awesome films and TV series. And hopefully,
Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jay Gioni. He's the one that connected you and I.
yes, that's true. That's true.
That's my brother right there.
Shout out.
Yeah, Jay, where you at, Jay? We're up next, brother. We're next. You know, that's our funny thing to say there. That's our favorite thing to say, that we're next. We're next on deck, you know, we're the next.
It's the code word.
Yeah, we're the batters up, you know, we're the batters up to go, you know, to go hit now, you know.
Yes.
It's our turn.
Well, thanks, Lorenzo.
Thank you.